Yo, what is up? What is up? What is up? We are back at it playing with black magic. Hit the like button, good people. This is going to be pretty interesting. At least I think. Now, Gilbert Arenas, the former teammate of Kwame Brown, once again wants to attach his name to Kwame Brown. And by doing so, he's opened up Pandora's box. Because he's so inaccurate in the things that he's doing and talking about. And it makes it kind of embarrassing. Because what you do is bring back the past that you want everybody not to know. You bring that back to the light. And the big question and the multi-million-dollar question is why? Why would you want this back in the spotlight? That makes no sense. You know, I know he does a move and say it is part of his plan. He's smart. This is what I wanted to do. This was my strategy. Y'all fell for the trap. I just don't understand where this person get off with this analogy. And the reason that I say I don't understand is because it's not moving in the right direction. He never tells the truth. So Kwame addressed a lot of it today. And I just like, well, I'm going to touch on it a little bit and go over this because it's crazy. You know, looking at it, it was like, really? Are you really finna go this way? Is this really how you feel? So as I was sitting back and listening to this, it was coming off as very revealing, is that he still has some emotional problems. And when you meet somebody that's unstable, they have emotional problems, or they are uncomfortable with something, like a conversation, something bothers them, something's a tick that just irks them about something because it bothers them and it don't sit right. Normally that person has some sort of guilt because he knows what actually transpired. That's what normally happens. Now, yeah, I've tried to be the good guy many a times. So in being that good guy, you start to see things for what it really truly is. And when you see Mr. Arenas signing deals for 50%, of his company, and the people that's working with him are basically, held hostage to whatever decisions that is made by Mr. Arenas, you start to understand that mentality of him letting other people do everything for him without him having any say, any control, etc. That's part of his norm. So let's listen to Mr. Arenas in his own words. Pretty much give you a full example.
It was enough to get by. It was enough to get by. Let's not talk about, don't pretend that they had handles like that. Everything has evolved, man. Was Kwame trying to go viral? I've heard of NBA young boy, NBA dumb boys. Like, I just don't like the ideal of what he does. Like, this nigga was one of the worst niggas when he played in the NBA. Like, just look up his LA police record. This nigga got arrested for being drunk outside a bar, and a dude was walking down the street with his birthday cake, and he decided to smash the shit out the nigga's hand. Kwame did that. A man walking with his birthday cake, and that drunk ass nigga decided he wanted to hit it out of his hand. Him, NBA dumb boy.
Now he wants to take Kwame Brown's words and use it, just like Skip Bayless steals from me. Mr. Arenas wants to steal from Kwame Brown. He wants to make Kwame Brown the butt of all his problems. And I don't know why. It's clear he has another direction and another plan he plans on going down. Another road. But he brings up arrests, right? Now, the thing is about the birthday cake, I spoke to Kwame. He told me it was a teammate's birthday, and they was walking down the street, so he thought that was the cake that was for the teammate they had. And just like they do in any locker room or anything else, Kwame just didn't knock the cake up in the air. He knocked it in the face of the guy whose birthday it was. That's what they do. They push cakes in people's faces, dog. This man just told a partial story, which was a lie, but it was the truth. Bend it. See, this is what he does as manipulation. See, if you didn't know Kwame Brown, you would believe Gilbert at his word and be like, oh, Kwame's just drunk, stumbling down the street, slapping cakes out of people's hands. It sounds really stupid, but somebody would probably believe it. Now, let's talk about arrests. When Washington, D.C. Wizards man Gilbert Arenas was a teammate of Mr. Brown's, this man could not stand anything that has something to do with not going to jail or causing trouble. Ernie Grunfeld. Ernie, his backer, the GM. Oh, that was his guy. Gil could do no wrong. He brought in the coach for Gil. He brought in everything. He brought in Eddie. Why? Because Eddie was his guy. He know he could do whatever. He'll tell Eddie Jordan what he want done, and Eddie will have to just go along with it. So when your head coach and one of the leaders of the team are both having a discussion about what another leader of the team said about your conduct was the reason they didn't win. If only they could have gotten your conduct in line, they could have went further. Now let's stick to the arrest. You didn't care about the arrest. And the reason why is because Ernie would get you out of it because he knew the chief of police, friends with the chief of police. The chief of police, in case you guys don't know, is a guy named Charles Ramsey, former Chicago cop who was the chief of police in D.C. Ernie told this man, hey, if any of my guys come in here, call me first. Don't let the press know. Call me. So the press would not get word of these arrests. Gilbert used this as a get out of jail free card. It was a free pass in his mind to do whatever he wanted. And this man wants to talk about arrest. And not only he was arrested, his friends were arrested. It was to the point where Gil would get out of trouble and the rest of his friends are still locked up. Yeah. But I know I'm out of line. I'm out of pocket. I'm the one that's wrong. But all I'm doing is reporting on the human drama, man. This guy is the one that's out here crazy. Now, because that's the case, ain't us, it's him. I want y'all to just understand the scales of what we're talking about. Because now, here's what's going to get even more interesting for right now. When they brought Gil in, this was Ernie's chance to build a franchise player. He thought he had the next Michael Jordan on his hands. They thought they had Jordan, a younger Michael Jordan. This is a guy we can build around, a young superstar. He's going to help get and turn this team around, and we won't be reminded about the Michael Jordan era that we made all that money off of. We're going to build the team, and this is going to be the guy. They got Eddie in there. They brought you in, gave you a big deal. You were supposed to be that guy. You were supposed to be the point guard of this team where you and Jerry Stackhouse were supposed to be the backcourt of the future. Yep. They had big plans. Ernie brought his guy in there, Eddie, so he could know Eddie's going to follow whatever Ernie want to do to the letter. But what did you do? In this said scenario, you found a way to blow it all up. Because that's what he does. He's toxic. They didn't even name you one of the leaders of the team. Antoine Jameson was a leader. Karan was a leader. And Eton Thompson was a leader. If that's the case, is that what basketball is about? A lot of people scored more points than Dennis Rodman. Were they better than Dennis Rodman because they scored more points? Rodman's NBA All-75 for a reason. He was a difference maker. But riddle me this. Did Gilbert ever win any more games than he did with Kwame Brown, without Kwame Brown or with Kwame Brown? He won the most games he ever won with Kwame Brown. They never went as far as they did when they had Kwame Brown on the team. They never got back that far, ever. So let that sink in since you want to talk. No, he had Ernie. Ernie was his cleanup man. Now, since you want to bring that up, why we didn't start this. I'm just commenting on it. The person that started it was Gilbert Arenas. He the one wants to bring it up. Kwame was talking about what his actual teammates were saying about him. They were speaking on Gil, but he never mentioned Eton. He never mentioned Coach Jordan. They were the ones doing all the talking. Why you ain't talking about them? I find that quite peculiar, but you want to talk about Kwame Brown. Eton on YouTube. He got a podcast. Why don't you go on his show and talk about it?
NBA dumb boy. We're talking about a man who gets drunk, gets thrown down the stairs outside of a club, get his ass whooped. NBA dumb boy. NBA dumb boy had to protect his arm. I had to start wearing a sleeve in 0405 because he wanted to punch through a window because his girl was hiding it. The nigga had the keys in his pocket. he had the keys in his pocket. NBA dumb boy had to punch through the window.
Now, Kwame Brown already spoke on this, and he said, one, if I had the keys, why the hell would I punch through the damn glass if I had the keys in my pocket? So he trying to make a joke, and of course, only he laughed. All of these things he's bringing up, lies. Complete lies. He got pushed down the stairs, and he only know that because Kwame told the story about him getting in a fight with this big, gigantic dude in a bar when he got drafted. He got pushed down the stairs by the bouncer. He took the guy with him, and then when he got up, he put the guy to bed. Gil cuts and leave out parts of the story that he only wants you to tell, that he only wants you to know. Mm-hmm. He only want to talk about the parts he wants you to know. Yeah, exactly. Now, all of these things he's trying to put together like he did all of this stuff. Instead of hitting a woman, he hit his own car. He didn't know his hand was going to go through it. He just punched the car window. He shouldn't have punched it at all. You know, that was a risk of cutting his wrist, everything. But he was frustrated. She the one hit him in the mouth. But Gil has told this story in different fashions, saying that he was fighting with the girl. All kind of nonsense.
Scarred up his arm, and he had to start wearing a sleeve the rest of his career. That was NBA dumb boy. But we didn't have social media back then, and he wasn't famous enough like that no more for anybody to really care. NBA dumb boy, holding women over balconies, and where he lived, just holding them. Just she didn't want to give up the ass. He just gonna hold over the balcony. He won't give up the ass. Here you go. Here.
Now,
He's the biggest hypocrite.
You know this guy, and he's saying somebody's the biggest hypocrite is hilarious because nobody's more of a hypocrite than that individual. That's what makes it weird. Nobody's a bigger hypocrite than him. So for him to say that was quite interesting. Mm-hmm. Now, when you see people come up and down and they try to do things that are ideal to the situation they're in. Like you see other people start making promises, they start making different, situations, trying to make it all work for the better. And they saying, hey, we're going to do this for the betterment of everybody else. Well, what's the betterment for this, Gil? And you want to speak about hypocrite, right? Kwame's the hypocrite. He's dumb. Okay. Well, let's go and rewind them and remind them. Some people forget their upbringings. They forget. Let's go back to the beginning. Let's go back to Agent Zero. Since you want to talk hypocrite.
The TV come out the top. I want the drop one in the middle.
This is when he first got in the league, y'all.
So I'm sitting with 6 TV. I want 4 12s in the back.
Just got
you want the people behind you driving this to your TV.
I want so I got the 2 here, the pop-up third, the one behind me 4, and then the 2. I get 5 and 6, 4 12. Because I'm sitting there looking at everybody. They done sold me. They done sold me on it. Right. The only thing I did put in the car was the mink floors Gary Payton had. I was like, that just sounded expensive, and I don't
gotta copy what everybody else do.
Way before Rolls Royce was doing it, GP had them.
That's what I said. So there's like the mink floor. I was like, I'm gonna just do the regular floor, but I'll take that suede though. I'll take the suede.
I had 612.
Yeah.
Like Webby. 612.
Your face will vibrate. Right? I didn't like riding.
Yeah. Then you know that's when the chains was coming out. So it was the long joints, and we was doing all initials then. So
initials or your name or your nickname or something like that.
So birth certificate on that book.
Yeah, I had a GJA chain about this big.
Man, I had a D-Miles 21. Day to June. Everybody going to Dave.
Dave living report, yeah.
Man.
And what's so funny is like that's when like earrings became cool. The big diamonds.
The square ones.
So I got my ears pierced, boom, just for a diamond. Just so I got took that out. Give me the big joint. I want the big ear just hanging all down here. So when I got drafted, so I done spent probably $200,000, $300,000 before I got drafted. So imagine saying 32, 31.
So this man spent $200,000 before he's even drafted because he just know he's going in the first round. Oh, you ain't had to tell me about Kyle. I already knew about Kyle. That boy the truth. I couldn't pronounce his name. That's why I just called him number 25. But yeah, he the truth, Corey. Now, here's the thing. Oh, no. No brains, Gil. Dude ain't got no brains.
One. So, looking at the money chart, okay, the million, 300. Oh, I'm broke. I'm done, bro. I'm done. Like, I don't know. How did this work? Like, I'm done. So I had to get a financial advisor. And he's like, all right, looked at the 2 purchases and everything. Gave my dad some bread. So he was like, all right, your first year check, that's gone. All right, that's gone. You already spent that. You already spent some of your second year money. Glad you got a 2-year deal. So he was like, so we're gonna budget off your second year for both years. Yeah. So all right. He was like, you got to get an apartment that's about $2,500, a house apartment under $2,500, gas. So you got $400 You have $400 free money for the next 2 years, and you can't go over it. Like, all right, 400. 400 easy. I had 2 pit bulls, the Escalade eating up money, got to drive 400. No, I was struggling.
And you gotta eat.
And I got to eat. So what I used to do, like that first month, so what I used to do is when we got on the plane, my backpack, all that fruit, all the fruit, cookies, all that. I took all that. That was my meal because I couldn't order room service.
Yeah.
So because
Everything must go.
yeah, so I couldn't order room service so I'm just eating all the fruit and stuff and doing that, and that's how I
Oh,
survived.
so you was taking them per diem checks, though.
Yeah, so now I lost that on the plane already. Trying to
boo
gamble
ray.
more money. Yeah, trying to gamble for more money. I'm trying to I got like 168. If I can win like 3 games,
Boo
boy,
ray.
I'm good. I'm good.
That boo ray hurt. Hey.
Yeah, so that's how I was I'm sitting there like, okay, they won't let me jump in now because I ain't got enough. So I gotta wait until like somebody fall off and then try to hurry to get a quick little lit, and I'm good. And what ended up happening is I won. Had like 600. So Chris Mills, being dickhead he was like, hey, Rook, we're gonna go to your room. Since you the big baller now, I need you to order pizza for the room, and we're gonna finish the game in your room. All right, cool. Yeah, I got the money. So I'm ordering pizza. Larry Hughes like, I don't want no pizza. So he orders room service, right? And I said, no, you can't order room service, bro. I was like, no, don't be ordering room service. I got to take some of this money home. He's like, Rook, chill out. This is Larry Hughes' room, blah, blah, blah. But can you send my food to this room? All right, so food come, he signs it.
This is creating a monster right here. I see the writing on the wall.
So, all right, okay. Yeah, room service. Can I have 2 cheeseburgers, 4 scoops of vanilla ice cream, chocolate cake, 3 sodas? Yeah, this is Larry Hughes' room 212, but can you bring it to room doo-doo-doo? Come. Give it to her. She leaves.
You walk on up.
Look at your burger, everything.
Oh
is
my God! Drop! Everywhere we went, boy. 2 hamburgers, 4 ice creams.
Now look, already stealing from his teammate. Now, who was NBA dumb boy? You let me know who was NBA dumb boy. You call somebody a hypocrite and calling them NBA dumb boy when you spent your money before you even got in the league. That you in the NBA and you in here scamming your teammate for 2 cheeseburgers and some ice cream. Gilbert Arenas, ladies and gentlemen. Gilbert Arenas. Am I fighting a fight for Kwame Brown, or am I responding to the comments that Mr. Arenas made himself? We haven't played Kwame Brown saying a thing. See, I knew you were going to do that. We haven't played Kwame Brown saying one word. Now, the only reason Kwame's involved, because who involves Kwame Brown? Gilbert Arenas. He did that. I'm just responding to it and covering it like we do everything else on YouTube, right? So if we're going to cover it, we might as well do it right. Now,
You kept on using Larry there, or you switched names?
No, I'm Larry Hughes, bro. I'm Larry Hughes, man. I'm Larry Hughes. When he caught on it, he's talking about getting the ass whooping. I got bopped. I was like, yo, why you say it's me? You're the only one who will order 4 scoops of ice cream
Every time.
every time. And I was like, man, look, I ain't got no money, man.
Bull bad, bull bad.
Yeah, it was bad,
Hey.
but then he just let me live. He was like, just keep it
That's one
normal.
of the coolest dudes I ever
Yeah, that's
met,
what I'm saying.
man.
I was about to
Like,
say, yeah,
He was the
bull.
coolest. Like that's what I'm saying. He let me rock the rest of the. He said, just keep it normal. Don't go irate. I was like, all right, cool. Thank, appreciate it.
the order for everybody.
Solid dude. That's bull.
So Larry Hughes had to let you eat 2 cheeseburgers and 4 ice creams after getting your ass whooped. NBA dumb boy in real time. But Kwame Brown's supposed to be that dumb guy. See how he's a hypocrite? See how he's a hypocrite? Tells on himself and boast about it. 2 cheeseburgers and 4 scoops of ice cream. I can't make that up. 4 scoops. 2 cheeseburgers and 4 scoops of ice cream. Good Lord. This is the one? This the guy? This is the one the world need to be worried about. I'm telling you, man, it's every day the story gets worse and worse dealing with this guy, man. And the reason it keeps getting worse is because there's no improvement. There's none. Now, you might ask yourself, well, because you say there's no improvement, doesn't mean that there's no improvement. Yes, it does. That's exactly what it means. This man has no accountability in his soul. It's always someone else's problem. To the fact that he started scamming his own damn teammate because he was broke. Kwame came out of high school. You was in college. And according to you, you didn't even take class. They just passed you on along. But let's let him talk. Let him keep telling on himself. Since he brought up hypocrite.
Boy, I was struggling. Oh, that was rough.
So when you got drafted to Golden State, you got Mookie Blaylock in front of you.
Yeah.
Like I say, I always remember that of you, and I used to just remember saying to you, like, man, just wait your turn, bro. And just be ready. And like you took off
So
to the Wizards.
back then, so I was playing out of that. I think it was the mid-level exception. So the highest the Wizards can pay me was 49. So Denver already came in because I used to work out with Kiki anyway. So he was general manager. So he already said, all right, we're gonna give you 50. So come on over here, right? So I think you guys had, I don't know how many free agents. Like Elton Brand was a free agent. I think Corey McGrady was a free agent. Lamar Odom was a free agent. I think it was like 4 or 5.
They were first, yeah.
It was like 3 or 4 free agents on your team.
Yeah.
And then I think the NBA came down and said, y'all gotta sign back players, because at that time
Don Sterling wasn't paying nobody.
he wasn't paying nobody. So he was like, no, you have too many free agents to just say it. Fuck it.
Yeah.
So you gotta spend money. So what ends up happening is they come in to play $50 million, and everyone's coming, and then Brian Russell opted out of his contract his last year to go to the Lakers, and then the salary cap went up, so they went to like $64 million, and then he's already said, hey, just the city's yours if you come here. So it was like, it was the Clippers of the city. So mentally, I went to Washington.
You start killing in Washington. You
Now, remember that story that he just told you. Clippers or the city. Remember that. I want y'all to remember that. Because his hypocrisy knows no ends. Oh, no. He just getting started. Yeah, you gonna see who a real NBA dumb boy is. We gonna let him keep cooking on himself. Because Gil loves to talk about one thing more than anything on earth. What? Himself. Yet again. He can't stop. He don't know how to stop. So he want to talk. I'm just gonna let him.
That's why I said I just don't like the idea of what he does. Even the Tracy McGrady talking about I made him Kobe made him quit. And you know, in that series that they were playing, T-Mac was actually up. And you don't talk about quitting, nigga. You quit on the whole NBA franchise in the playoffs because your ass played 3 minutes. And just like the coach said, you the one that told him to come. You wanted to come off the bench at home. And when he brought your ass off the bench at home like you requested, your ass quit on the team because the backup center, Eton, had a career night 20 points. I know why you was mad. You wasn't mad because of me. You was mad because the nigga that replaced you had 20 points. And if you would have had those points, it would have put your stock up. Nigga.
Now, let's talk about that. That's not why Kwame went home. Eton and Eddie spoke on the situation. And at no time did they mention that was the case because Brendan and Eton were centers. Kwame played power forward. So Eton wasn't replacing Kwame Brown. This is why Eton and Brendan were fighting in the locker room. They played the same position. Brendan got upset when he got benched for Eton. Why? Because they both centers. How you, the big time player on the team, right? You're the captain. You big Gil. You don't know the position that your own damn teammates play and you on the team? How the hell do you not know who plays what position? You supposed to be the man. You don't know Kwame Brown was a power forward on your team and Eton was your center? No wonder why y'all had problems. You don't even know what position anybody play. No wonder. Be like, oh, that's our center right there. What are you the center? He don't know his own damn team. Yeah, don't know your own team. So if that's his answer, now you see he don't even know Kwame Brown never played that position until like later. But he wasn't. No, Eton never replaced him at that time. He was playing power forward. I know. Hit the like button, subscribe to the page. You know. Well, a lot of those things that was happening, you got to understand that being a young coach and he wanted to use the triangle offense. You know, that was his thing. Gil wanted to downplay everything. No, Coach Eddie he's old. Like, he's like 70 down there. So he's right now, he was 40 at that time. He was trying to not deal with problems, especially at 79. You don't want to deal with no problems, and you damn sure don't want to deal with Gilbert Arenas. He don't want to deal with all that. He's like, man, look, I'm 70. You know, and that's how they feel. Like, look, I'm 70. Let me be 70. I'm just gonna tell it what happened, and just he want to put a positive spin on it, of course, because hey, it's over. This is 30 years ago. I'm playing golf every day and relax. This is in my twilight years. I ain't trying to go back and forth on social media. So that's Eddie's whole thing. Right, he's in his golden years.
Dunks in the first quarter.
But listen to
So
this.
that game, I had a good game. You know what I mean? We won.
Yeah.
You know, the whole city was on fire, and that's when Gilbert and Kwame's issues started. So I remember sitting there. I was sitting at the locker room because I had all the media people around me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was, on the court. I was like, yeah, you got to just stay ready. You got to be ready with, all giving them all the one-liners, right? And so then I see the media going back and forth between Kwame and Gilbert. And you know what I mean? And they were going back here, and they were back here, and they went back here. I mean, I don't even know if you knew that this is what was going on.
I didn't know this was going on in the locker room. No.
So Gilbert, saying like, he wants me to pass him the ball. He ain't doing nothing when he get the ball. And Kwame was like, well, he won't pass me the ball. So they just egging it on, right? Well, Gilbert said that you won't pass it. And I was like, so I remember afterwards, I was like, and I talked to some of them, and that's why I called some of the guys, the specific reporters, to come on the show with me. And I was like, why? This is our first win. Like, this is a happy time. Like, don't print this, what they're doing. And they were all like, hey, we have to.
Now, for those who are watching and don't understand, that is Coach Eddie Jordan, who is the coach of the Kwame Brown and Gilbert Arenas. That is Eton Thomas, one of the leaders of the team, and a former teammate of both of them. For those who don't know, who should know by now.
They're telling us this. I don't print it somebody else's. And that's what started their whole issue. And somebody thinks, it was said, not by me, but somebody thinks or said somewhere that Gilbert came to you and told you not to play Kwame. And I was like, I didn't hear nothing about that. So let's go straight to it. You know what I mean? Did Gilbert ever come to you and tell you not to play Kwame?
Never. There was no player that I've coached that came to me on any team, on any level, to tell me who to play or who not to play. And Gilbert did not come to me and say, Gilbert might have come and just rambled at times, but he never said, don't play Kwame. Now, was that the series Kwame just stopped playing?
Yeah, so that was when he stopped going to, and if you remember, this was the only time where me and you got into an argument. The whole time we played, we never argued because it was when, and I was really more advocating for Kwame, if you remember. And I was like, well, give him a chance. He's all right. He's just frustrated. And he was like, no. We were like, no. He skipped practice. He can't just skip practice. I was like, I feel you. I got you. But just give him a minute. And I went and called him and everything like that. And I was going. And it was when Ernie was like, we don't need him on the team. And
well,
like,
this is what happened.
On the team.
Now, you just heard that. Ernie said, we don't need Kwame Brown on the team. We don't need him. That's what he said. Ernie said, we don't need him on the team. Now, who is Ernie's guy? Who was the guy Ernie was getting out of jail? Who was the guy Ernie was cool with the police? If you was one of his guys? Ernie said we don't need him on the team. Ernie said that. Mm-hmm. Now, look at this. You see that? Now let's hear what the coach gonna say, because Eton just said it boldly. And you know the coach don't want to go with that. Coach ain't gonna want no parts. Hit it
I'll
up,
tell you
Coach.
what happened.
Uh-huh.
Kwame, Ernie, he missed practice. Ernie met with Kwame and then called me up and says, let's meet Kwame in your office. So me, Ernie, Kwame come in. I think Steve Shepard, not Steve Shepard. Shepard might have been there too. But Kwame,
So Tommy Shepard.
Tommy Shepard. Kwame sat there and said, is that the year he broke somebody's window and had scars on his arm?
It might have been something like that.
So he sits there and Ernie says, well, do you want to be here on the team? Kwame said no. He did not want to play anymore. So that's how that went. He admitted that he did not want to play. It was in front of me and Ernie and maybe Tommy Shepard. But that was that meeting. And we said, hey, he doesn't want to play. His heart's that even if we try to convince him to play, to be on the team, his heart wasn't in it. For some reason, his heart wasn't in it. He admitted to us he did not want to play anymore on our team.
See,
So,
I remember him being so mad at Gilbert that
I didn't know why. I just thought he just
it was
well.
It was because he thought that Gilbert came to you and said, "Do not play Kwame anymore."
Oh, no, I would never. You think I would listen to Gilbert?
I hear you, but that was the thought, and he was so mad. He was like, "If I come to practice, I'm going to knock Gilbert out, and that's going to be bad for me. So I will stay away." And I wish he would have explained all that back then, because that was the reason why he said I should not come in right now, or I should not be around the team right now, because I will go beeline right to Gil, because he was so mad. And I don't know if his agent told him, somebody told him that. I don't know how that, because some reason Gilbert thought that I told him that because he knew that we was tight. And I was like, I never say that. I was like, my issue was with the media. And I said how the media was egging it on, and I even talked to the media. Well, I don't know nothing about the other stuff, but that was the reason why he wanted to stay away and why he didn't come to practice that day. I just don't think he ever explained that.
He never really.
Now, Kwame already explained this, but what he said was the fact that if I come to practice, I'm going to hit it, because Dan Fagan, who was the agent of Gilbert Arenas, wanted to represent Kwame Brown. And Gil himself was telling him to go over there and was talking to him about joining with Dan Fagan. And he said, man, you get this and this. And Gil was giving him the ball. Once he decided not to go with Dan Fagan, Gil had moved right around the corner from Kwame Brown, by the way. So he saw him all the time. Dan Fagan spoke to him and came through there. And once Gil told his agent what was happening, and he's like, man, look, Dan Fagan is known for poaching people's talent. And once he made it clear that he wasn't going to go with Dan Fagan, Gil just stopped giving him the ball. Didn't want to give him the ball. So his numbers would be low. And that was keeping him out of a possible $60 million contract. So now you got a player on the team who's basically in charge of helping people get their deals. And now he don't want to give him the ball. This is what's going to make Kwame Brown punch him in the mouth. You're going to be losing out on like $60, $70 million because this guy wants you to sign with his agent, and now he don't want to give you the ball. He's like, look, I might as well get off this team. And he said that, and they're not telling the full story. They're not telling the full story because, like he said, they came back. He said they came back, and what they decided to do was completely different. They kept calling him every day. They had another player that used to play that was on the team and used to call him, Terrell, whatever, he used to call him up all the time. Hey, Kwame, we're going to need you for Shaq, man. Are you in shape? So it wasn't even about him leaving. Like, hey, we don't need him. Let him go home. Because when they played against Miami in the next round, and they was like, oh, we going to need you for Shaq. We need you for Shaq, man. Come on, man. We need you for Shaq. Can you play? Are you still in shape? It was like, no, y'all got it. Is Gil still on the team? Yeah, then I'm not coming. That was it. And they even had Gilbert Arenas call him. Like, Gil, you got to fix this with Kwame. So if they didn't want Kwame Brown and they didn't need Kwame Brown and they had everything they needed, they could have just gone. Right? They forgot that part. They forgot they called him. Everybody called him while he was out. And he did not want to play for their franchise anymore. He didn't want to be under the GM and didn't want to be part of the Gil and Eddie show. Gil and Eddie was going to bring the team down. He saw that as the writing on the wall because they got to see this guy's behavior and him not be able to do anything about it. It was the Gil and Eddie show. Now, this guy, he just used to doing what he do. This is his norm. Going through the motions. As they're breaking this down, they don't even know his own teammate and head coach is breaking this down.
He never expressed his thoughts to us. He just sat there and said, I just don't feel like playing anymore. I mean, just bluntly and flatly, I just don't want to play anymore. And that's it. And we just, to me, it was no trying to convince him because we were at such an important time at the time and we had something going. I got enough players here. I got you and Brendan and everybody else, in that position. So that's why he didn't play. And I stopped listening to them go back and forth at each other. But I listened to them about a year. It's a lot. Yeah, it's not even. It's gotten to a point where it wasn't even funny.
And the thing is, I agree. And the thing is, it's like I don't know. And even when I sat down and talked with the reporters and told, everything, I was like, I don't know if any of this even matters now at the point where they are. I don't think if they even care how it first started. And it wasn't that, you know what I mean? They've gone so far beyond. Yeah, I don't know if there's any coming back from it. They're talking about each other's families and their, you know what I mean? They're doing with their, I'm like, that's, and I hope, and this is, you know what I mean? Because I know Kwame's my man. You know what I mean? When Kwame went off on everybody that time when he was mad at, he was like, F you, F you, F you. And he was like, Tom Thomas, you cool with me. But F you, and it was so crazy because so many people started calling me like, yo, what's up with Kwame? Why is he cool with you? And but he went off on everybody. But I was there for the whole time from when he first got to the Wizards, and I saw how it was really like him against the world. Like
this frustration just built just over years, over months, and years. Yeah. And he couldn't get to that performance level that everybody expected him to get to. Yeah. And I'm sure it was frustrating for him.
Now, he had no problem getting there. Eton's been there, so he knows and he's seen it firsthand. So he knows what the whole process was. Gil wasn't there when Doug Collins was there. He wouldn't have survived.
And it's a lot, first pick in the draft, you're 7 foot, you got a body of a Greek god.
Right.
And, your performance level isn't what people expected it to be.
Right.
So, and look, it wasn't because he didn't give effort. He gave great effort. Kwame would work hard.
Yeah.
He was physical. And he knew that, he had to be that sort of player, an explosive, physical, dynamic player. And he tried. He gave great effort.
Yeah.
There was just, some things that just didn't work well for him. That's all.
Yeah, and it was unfortunate. But I mean, he wasn't, I hate when people keep saying he was a bust. I mean, Kwame played 13, 14 years in the league. That's not a bust.
He sure did.
I have these arguments with people so many times, and I hear them talking. I'm like, you don't even know what you're talking about. And again, it makes me mad sometimes because people speak with such, you know what I mean? Like, certainty, like conviction. I'm like, you have no idea. You're just talking. But it's but another thing that I did say on that podcast that got a lot of people's attention in that discussion with the different reporters. A lot of people came up to me about the Javaris Crittenton situation with Gilbert, especially after the Netflix documentary came out. I don't know if you saw it. Did you see it?
I watched it. Yeah, shooting goal.
Yeah, that was a tough watch too. But
Yep. Now we ain't even went here with NBA Dumb Boy because I figured all of y'all know about that, the guns in the locker room thing. So we don't even need to bring that back up. But Eton brought it up because these were his teammates. So let's hear what he had to say about the documentary they made just for money.
And there was a lot of different problems that I had with it because I felt that they didn't tell the whole story. There's a whole lot more to it that they could have told, and they didn't show all the positive stuff that Javaris has been doing since, and like how he worked with the family and helped the family, and what he's doing now with young people and the stuff he's doing with AAU, and they didn't show the redemption story. And I just felt that if they were going to tell the story, they had to tell the complete part, but they were focused so much on, you know what I mean, Gilbert, and he did this, and then he did that. I'm like, okay, you talked about that. I'll move on past that. But that's what drew the people, and I get it. But I made a statement during that podcast, and it got a lot of people's attention, and they didn't understand what I was saying. You'll understand more what I was saying. I said that the person that I know deserves the majority of the blame, not all the blame, but the majority of the blame for that happening that they didn't show in the Netflix documentary was Ernie Grunfeld. And I said because the reason why is Ernie let Gilbert do whatever he wanted to do from the time he got to the Wizards, and it just got worse and worse and worse.
See? Now this is your teammate. So if Mr. Arenas makes another video, tell him to address what his head coach and his former teammate, Eton Thomas, said, which aligns right with Kwame Brown. Now watch what Coach Jordan has to say about all this.
It's like, and Gilbert was incredibly, he if that never happened, he'd probably be a Hall of Fame. You know what I mean? But at that time, Gilbert didn't have the personality that you could just say you can do whatever you want to do. He needed structure. He needed discipline. He needed rules. And you would attempt to make rules, and if he wouldn't do something, you would find him, and then Ernie Grunfeld would give him his money back. Like it was like I remember I would see Gilbert come into the gym, and he would be in there early in the morning, working out, everything like that. Mm-hmm. Then he would leave and then be late for practice. And I was like, you late when you done already worked out for 2 hours, but you didn't want nobody to know that you was working out. You know what I mean? But I was like, what you doing? But it was almost like he wanted to do things to prove a point that he could. And you know what I mean? And then Ernie, like supported him with anything. He never told Gilbert no. So there was a lot of things that happened before that gun incident that would blow people's minds that Gilbert did.
That's
And
funny.
Ernie okayed all of it.
Ernie okayed all of it. It would blow your mind to know all of the things he did. And Ernie let him get away with it.
No issues with any of it, and it just got worse and worse. That's my opinion. You can tell me if you think I'm wrong.
Antoine. So when I told you I saw Antoine at a game, because I was actually scouting for St. John's. I was doing a little scouting, not scouting officially, but assistant coach at St. John's asked me to watch this kid, which lives about 15 minutes from me.
Okay.
So that's when I go to the game. This kid I'm watching, his school's playing against Antoine's son's school. So that's why I got to see Antoine watching his son play. And Antoine and I was sitting up there watching the game. And Antoine turned to me and said exactly what you said. He said, you know how good we could have been if Ernie didn't let Gilbert get away with a lot of that stuff. He just said that right out of the blue. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if Antoine wanted me to say this, but it's all in the past. But it's the honest truth. But he said, it was a great statement. He said, honest truth. But he said, it was a great statement. He said, you know how good we could have been if Ernie didn't let Gilbert get away with everything. The fines, not paying this, not paying that. And
Yep. Do you know how good we could have been if they didn't let Gilbert Arenas ruin the whole goddamn team? This is y'all hero. This is the man who's going around Mr. Glasshouse calling somebody else a hypocrite. That's him. So now he's up late at night playing video games, doing all this stuff, talking about his ex-teammate late at night, critiquing the game that he used to play. Now he can't play. They didn't want him to play. They had just kicked him completely out. Like, we don't want you even around. And Antoine and them got him back, said, no, let's get him back in good graces. We like him. And look where it got him. Look where it got him. So why he's embarrassing himself? I want people to understand what's actually transpiring here. The man is lost. But he did it to himself. He got no one else to blame.
I said this. I had a line with Mr. Poland. I had a direct line with Mr. Poland. And I said to Mr. Poland, we're going to be disciplined. And look, Gilbert has his ways. And I always said this. I even drew this on the whiteboard in the locker room. I don't know if you remember this. I said, if you have a regular road, a highway, and you have a middle line that tells you which side to be on the middle of the road. I said, now, to go down the road, some of us walk this straight line down the road. Some of us wiggle a little bit out the road, out of the straight line. That's okay.
Mhm.
But the road has a border on each side.
I
And
remember
once
that.
you go outside that border,
Yep.
that's when I get on you and there's gonna be consequences. So I'll let you be yourself within this road where we're going, every individual. And so I don't know if you remember this. The one time Gilbert was really did about 2 or 3 things in a row that I said, okay, I got discipline really good now. So I said, Gilbert, you're not starting tonight.
I remember that.
So, and he got all pissed off and sit by his locker. He was this and that. But it wasn't like he didn't play. He didn't start. So what's happening in karma is kind of real to me. I believe in karma. So and I didn't wish, no one wishes anything bad. But Gilbert goes in the game, and that's the night he got his knee hurt. He went in there, he's blocking out what's the kid from Charlotte that jumps real high. Crash.
know you're talking about.
Yeah, blocking him out unless he was coming in for a layup.
Gerald Wallace.
Yeah. So he turned and blocked, face up, and the guy fell on his knee. And to me, it was like, it's a very unfortunate incident, but that was the downfall of his health problems. But he added on to that. Instead of doing what the doctors told him to do,
Yep. Now, let's talk about this. He said karma. That was karma catching up to Gilbert Arenas. Karma, my guy? Well, it's figuratively speaking, but you're once again still right back in these situations that people are not accustomed to being in. Oh yeah, we don't have a Patreon version of this, you know that, because I got a lot of stuff to get off my chest. But as you could hear Eddie saying these words.
Yeah.
this is the timeline for your knee to be 100% at this time. This is the stages you have to go through. Gilbert skipped like the first 4 stages and went right to running with a parachute on the track, playing basketball on the asphalt in the summer league games. So he skipped, again, he was, what made him great made him bad, is what I used to say about players. He was great because of his arrogance and his ego and his confidence and his ability, So in the end, that hurt him because he thought he could do it on his own without the doctors, without following these rules. And his knee never got healthy.
Yeah.
Now, see, that's what happens to Gil's career. And I told him, you didn't rehab the right way. So you was doing what you wanted to do. The doctors told you what you needed to do. I know my body. I'm going to do it this way. And you never got your knee back right. You went in there overworking your knee, doing it your way. And you never, ever got it right. That was on you. Mm-mm-mm.
Right from the beginning.
Yeah, I remember that. Now, and that was that the game where he said, "I'm not going to shoot."
No.
Okay.
He did that. He did that once. He did that in the Garden, and he shot in the fourth quarter. We won.
Right.
But
But he didn't shoot the whole 3 quarters. Like he just didn't shoot the ball at all.
Didn't shoot the whole 3 quarters. And I remember Remember Gilbert said he didn't make the Olympic team, and he says, "I'm giving 50 points to everybody involved with the Olympic team.
I remember that.
I'm gonna score 50 against all you guys." But okay. So he goes to LA, and I think he gets 62 or 64 in LA.
Against Kobe, right?
Against Kobe. We win. We go to Phoenix, and Mike D'Antoni.
That's where he did the bow afterwards.
Oh, in LA.
Yeah, in LA. I remember that. Yeah.
And the next night, we go to Phoenix, and he scores 54. We beat them in overtime. Steve Nash and those guys, because D'Antoni was part of it.
Right.
And then we play. I can't remember who we played. Maybe wherever Jared Jack was on, whatever team he was on at the time.
Okay.
Jared Jack. I don't know if it was Portland or Memphis. Or I can't remember. But I don't know. I don't know who was on that team that was affiliated with the Olympics.
Okay.
But that was a target team, as I say, a target team. So he only scored 9 points. And the media goes to Gilbert, says, "Why'd you only scored 9? What was the problem?" He said, "Well, the coach emphasized defense all week." And I'm like, well, and so the media said to me in my media presser after the game, this is what Gilbert said, he didn't score 9 because of you emphasizing defense all week. And I'm like, okay, I'm not going to even address that. Next question.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So a couple of 2 or 3 more questions.
Listen to
comes
this.
back to me another way. Gilbert only scored 9 points. And I said, look, that's stupid, right? I just had enough. I said, that's stupid. The front office, you know who I'm talking about, wants us to concentrate and emphasize defense. So that's what we did. We emphasized defense for the last 3 or 4 days in practice. The emphasis was on defense. And so they go back and tell Ernie in the hallway, well, coach said that was stupid, what Gilbert said.
I remember that. I remember.
Ernie, Ernie was the one that says, we got to emphasize defense. Let's emphasize defense. Mr. Poland, we got to emphasize defense. Blah, 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 blah. So, okay, we will. So Ernie tells the press, well, and they said, what do you have to say about that, Ernie? Ernie says, well, defense, Gilbert scores a lot of points for us and will continue to score a lot of points for us. Instead of saying, well, yes, we want to emphasize defense. Coach is right, and coach did the right thing. Instead of supporting what his message was, he goes to Gilbert and says, well, Gilbert scored a lot of points for us and will continue to score a lot of points for us. And I'm like, you know what? It is what it is.
Yeah, but that's where we went with our conversation with the media people. And I talked about the media's role in a lot of these issues that happens on teams.
Yeah, but there you have it, right? You hearing it firsthand. All of this dissension, everybody is centering Gil, but yet when he talked Kwame. Why? Why, Gil? Why do you keep doing that instead of dealing and facing the real reality? It's you. It's nobody else but you. It's always been you.
So your ass quit on us in the playoffs. Don't talk about a nigga quitting in the practice. You quit in a playoff series where your team needed you.
Nope. You did. You messed up the team.
I'm taking money out my kids. Yeah, you took money out of your kid's pocket. When your ass told the coach, I I don't want to start. In the Bulls series, this nigga said, I said Chandler blocked me in game one, so I didn't want to shoot that ball because I thought he was gonna block you. That nigga was on the bench. How you gonna block me on the bench? How you gonna block you on the bench, Kwame? Pass, 3 seconds. 3 seconds. Why you didn't shoot? Oh, Tyson Chandler was gonna block it. He did it in game one. He did it in game one. The whole bench was looking at this nigga like, what? But that's the guy who wants to go at other NBA players and talk about them like he is considered a bust for a reason. But as soon as you start talking about his career, you don't want to talk about that no more. You want to dodge it? Oh, thanks. That should have been an N1.
It's delusion of grandeur, man.
Nice.
Delusion of grandeur.
Montecchio. Don't spin. Oh, you gotta spin, you gotta hurry, you gotta feel it. What? How you catch the ball in the purple and shoot a 3? That's the only thing I don't understand about some of the plays these guys do. Where do you catch? Kwame bust and played 12 years in the NBA. Kwame was a #1 pick. He made a whole $63 million in 12 years. Now, we can all do this. We know math, right? Here, let's do math. 63 million divided. You're going to divide that by 12. He made $5.5 million per year. Okay? Now, let's look up his rookie contract. Okay? Just want to be a smart ass. Let's do this. Kwame Brown, rookie contract. Now, a rookie contract is off of what you did in high school. So his rookie contract was a 3-year deal for $12 million. Now, listen, let's divide that. 12 divided by 3. That's $4 million. That means as a rookie that has no stats, he averaged $4 million. For his career, $5 million. That means after his rookie year, the bitch was only worth $1 more million. What? Huh? You got a $1 million increase for 11 more years? You got paid whole dollars. Whole dollars. What are you talking about? He played 12 years because he was the cheapest thing moving. He was the cheapest. He was the cheapest center that you can get. Let me see a Donald Foyle's contract. A Donald Foyle was a center. He was a backup.
Now,
A Donald Foyle contract. He was a backup. Meaning he backed up the backup. He was like 4 spinners removed. He averaged 3 and 3, and he was making $8 million a year. 6 million, 8 million, 8 million, 7, 6. Come on. He made $63 million. A Donald Foyle. He was a backup. Kwame Brown, let's just go with Kwame Brown. Just so y'all can see why he lasted that long. Was it because of the sacks? Listen, he's so cheap. You can buy that nigga right now in your 24-hour fitness team. $1 million. Come on. and shit, and he made 25 from us. We signed him. We signed him for 25 and traded him to the Lakers.
We? Who the hell is we? You in the front office? Now, is this me or is this him? I'm not talking about him. He talking about him.
So at the 25, look, at the 25 plus the 12, right? That's 37 million. He signed $37 million worth of contract money by his fourth year. In 2010, he started. How many games did he start? The nigga want to use him years yet? He started. Hey, can somebody look? How many years did he start in 2010? Anybody look that up? And G and the guns. No, yet the money is what your value is, what you're worth. That's why it's what you're worth, right? Yeah, I know he had more impact. It showed. It showed. It showed if they redo the draft right now, he started 50 games. He was a starter for 50 games. He made $1 million. Who was the owner of that team? Just so you can see how bullish he was. A 7-foot center made $1 million from Michael Jordan and Michael Jordan's starter. He's talking about being holed out.
Now, this is Gilbert Arenas. Now, he just told you what happened his rookie year when he came into the league, right? He just told you that. Now, remember, the rookie, they got rid of this in 2005 with the rookies coming in getting deals, right? Now, their salary is based on actual, not like what Gil said. I don't even know if he got to that part yet where he's talking about the rookie salaries are based on what you did in high school. I think he says that goofiness already. If it was based on what he did in high school or what a person did in high school, then Gilbert, how did you get drafted if they were going off your high school? But I think he meant to say what Kwame did in high school is the reason he was the #1 draft pick. So do you mean to tell me that no one in the collegiate level, which is higher than high school, they didn't do and perform well, right? College is supposed to be the best of the best, the next step, better than high school, right? So if you did something really exceptional in high school, you must, to be able to bypass college, you must definitely be ready for the league. Or they think you don't even need to go to college. You can go in right now. Now, there was a pre-draft camp, as Eton told you. He saw it firsthand. All of the other rookies came in there. He was clearly the #1 draft pick because he was the best at that time. They pay you based off your marketability and potential, Gilbert. Because if that's the case, how does Richard Jefferson go before you? He was the 4th option, and he got a deal before you. You were a 2nd-round pick and got a 2nd-round deal because of your stupidity. But you're walking around here like it was a genius plan to do the stupidity that you chose to do. That's just the mentality of the individual you're listening to, who blows money and thinks it's cool.
You caught your nits, like in the game. Like you was one of the top.
My first All-Star, it was Larry's All-Star.
Yeah.
He broke his thumb that year. So once he broke his thumb, I had to take on that scoring, and me taking on that scoring pushed me into the All-Star. But it was Larry who was the All-Star guard.
Yeah.
So it was a bit that my first one would have been actually Larry and Antoine.
Yeah.
So we were sharing points. So between the two of us, we was averaging 40 points. Between the two of us, we was having 10 assists.
Yeah.
And then same thing with rebounds. When Larry left and went to Cleveland, we brung in Antonio Daniels, who's not a scorer.
Yeah.
So basically, scoring position all by myself for the guard. And that's when it's like, well, since I'm coming downhill, I'm a two guard with the ball all the time.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's where the confidence comes, because no one was coming at me. Back then, it was like, okay, Mulberry's at the 18, 19, 20, era there, and he's averaging 9 assists, so Blues. So I hooked up with JetBlue, and then there were times from Los Angeles where you can pick that flight and it was free coming through. So basically, everybody from Los Angeles, they got on 3 JetBlue flights and came, and then you had a free room. So
I'm in the game.
it was you remember when it was gifted, but you still got to put in some work. So when people are like, Iverson didn't practice, listen, that was intent. Like, and then come out in a game, you're 30 something. We're not necessarily doubling the star. I did the Euro practicing all the steps of the Euro.
Yeah.
Never actually tried it in the game.
Yeah.
I used to spend the summer doing floaters. Yeah. Never did a floater in a game. But it's in you. You done built. Remember, when he goes, he's stepping. Now I gotta, like, how many steps was that?
Yeah.
Like, so it's like one of those things that's, and he said, we can't do that.
Yeah.
We just got to look at it. So when he does it in steps, it's like, unless it was like, plays a lot.
But it's no mid-range. It's either you shooting long threes or you laying the ball up. It's no mid-range. I feel like the mid.
I see you do it when you do your giveaway. I be like, man, wait a minute, like, so that kind of answers that
Yeah,
from
that
like.
Well, anyway, I was trying to find it for you, but it wasn't there. Now, I'm going to show you what happens when you keep talking about the draft, because the draft is where it went left. And I think I messed it up. That's why I think the decision came in place. I think that's my screw up.
Like, why you give those away? But like,
it was in the beginning.
I know
Yeah.
everybody muscles like that.
Yeah, nah, you stronger than mine.
Yes. Go. By the time I get to my 5th year, boy, I'll be like top 10.
so you was
My dad like, you sure? Like varsity or you like JV start? Like, no, he's at varsity.
Get lunch.
Yeah,
When I was young,
coach wasn't having that.
yeah, we had off campus lunch, so you know.
Yeah, so it was the Valley school. So I was the first NBA player from the Valley.
You don't know this, but tell this.
Okay, so you gotta remember, it's the Valley. It ain't no athleticism here. So Northridge was the school that was going after me. So it's Northridge going after me, and the dude who was recruiting me said, if I go, I'm getting ready to go to Kansas State. So you're gonna be my first recruit. I was like, all right. So Kansas State come in, boom, boom, boom. Go there, and I'm like, they're like, yeah, we're gonna play you 1,000 minutes as a freshman. I was like, I don't know what the fuck that means, but whatever. but that's where I'm going. And then DePaul came in. Oh. So DePaul came in, and he already hit me like, you're gonna be the starting point. We got Quentin Richardson, we got Steven Hunter, we got
Bobby Simmons.
we got Bobby Simmons. So our team is, nice.
Loaded.
We added you. That's all we need. We can do some damage.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right. So my dad, because my dad and Pat Kennedy had some Florida ties. So it was like we did. So my dad's sister, his only sister, was going to DePaul too. So I had family going to DePaul. So right before my trip, his mother passed. So he had to cancel my trip. to DePaul, so I never got to go visit. So instead of me going to DePaul that weekend, I called Arizona and said, I'll come. Like, I could just come early. That's all right, come on through. So go there, Richard Jefferson, and we having fun. We had some like little scrimmage game, bust ass. bust that, like Michael Dickerson. For some reason, Michael Dickerson was there. All of them were there still, like training in the summer.
Yeah.
Right, that's the summer, like.
Right.
Yeah, so I was just training. Because I was wondering why, I never understood why he was there, because I thought he was a football player. I was like, damn.
Boy,
I was
nice, strong.
I was like, damn, you was a football, like, for a football player, you nice, bro.
I know when I first seen you up close was at Jordan Camp. Like, you stood out, like, right away to
First
me.
of all,
like,
he was a fool.
yeah.
That was why he stood out before anything else.
Yeah,
This
that's
man
true.
was a fool. A stone cold. He was in there, man, whooping the little campers' asses.
Yeah. That make me look good. Right. So we go against them. We
was with Nike, so we didn't see.
That
Saying, I
circuit.
ain't go to ABCD or none of that stuff.
Yeah.
Like, we was always in the Peach Jam.
Playing against Wings, so like, these players is that man big as hell.
Oh, chill. I know you got something
So
spectacular.
you gotta remember this.
Oh, chill. I know you got something spectacular.
You gotta remember this. 2001, so you already know it was popping. The Escalade. That Escalade, you know that Escalade?
310 motoring.
310,
Trick me
yeah.
out with the suede, with the TV, with the whole.
Hey.
Him a special.
And like people look at Google.
6'8"
Yes, it-
country.
And I was like,
He was there before.
no, he was there before you. And I was sitting there like, okay, I
when he
can
started
see,
showing.
like, show the 1, 2, you can see, like, when he's playing my backpack, all the fruit. I had to get a financial. Okay, so anyway, that's not it. It's not on there. I thought it was on there for you, but now you got to hear the other side. Because I thought that's what it was at, but it's not. But it's very important. Because once you understand the dilemma, or what do you say, the personality of somebody, then you will like fully understand the people you're dealing with. Like when they are deliberately just out of their minds with delusion. And it almost surprised you because you're like, how in the world are you this dense? No, it was quite evident. Here. I was like, you know they picked Richard Jefferson, right? He was like, yeah, they just picked him. I was like, how did they pick Richard Jefferson? I'm the number 1 scorer on our team. I'm the best player on our team.
Yeah.
He is option 3, 4.
Yeah.
Today, we're going to address that clip by Gilbert Arenas. Let's talk about why Gilbert went from first round to second round. It wasn't because of his talent, because that man is a bad man, and I will get on any app and talk about how bad of a man he was. But Gilbert was an immature asshole.
You know they picked Richard Jefferson, right? He was like, yeah, they just picked him. I was like, how did they pick Richard Jefferson? I'm the number 1 scorer on our team. I'm the best player on our team.
Yeah.
He is option 3, 4.
Yeah.
Today, we're going to address that clip by Gilbert Arenas. Let's talk about why Gilbert went from first round to second round. It wasn't because of his talent, because that man is a bad man, and I will get on any app and talk about how bad of a man he was. But Gilbert was an immature asshole. That's just who he was. We all are little dickheads, like, I get it. But what Gilbert did was a little bit more special. So, first, every athlete knows about stress tests. You got to do it, make sure your ticker's working. And so at the pre-draft in Chicago, you're probably supposed to be on it for like 5 to 8 minutes so your heart rate gets up high enough. So Gilbert decides to do it in Chuck Taylors. Now, everyone has to do it. Gilbert gets up there, 30 seconds in, he's like, this is messing up my Chuck Taylors. I'm not doing it. And these guys that are running the performance thing are like, what are you talking about? He's like, you got to do this. And you're like, nah, I'm not going to do it. So again, red flag. Now, he already had a couple of red flags because Gilbert had some good situations with guns in college, but I digress. This is what he was doing. So they look at him and just be like, okay, whatever. They're reporting to all 30 NBA teams. Now, fast forward the next day. You want to know how Gilbert followed that beautiful moment up? So there's a big symposium. Every pre-draft player's there. Teams are there. There's, people kind of talking to us about what do you want to accomplish in this league and the opportunities. And, the microphone gets to Gilbert after talking to a couple different players. And Gilbert, they were like, hey, what do you want to do? It's like, I want to be a pimp. Now, all of us giggle and laugh because we're 19 years old. This guy doesn't know who Gilbert is and how crazy he is. So he's like, excuse me, sir, what did you say? Gilbert doubles down. He's like, I want to be an international pimp. This man lit into Gilbert in a way I still have not seen. If you think objectifying women, if you're talking about using this league to blah, 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 just goes off, as he should, because that's inappropriate. No big deal. Sorry, ladies. He's an idiot. So that happened. So all of these things are the reason why Gilbert just kept dropping because he's an idiot. So the process why he dropped down, just let you know who Gilbert is. And I love my guy, but he's a little bit special. So before he started talking about, these guys got drafted, Gilbert, how many points did you score in the national championship game? And for extra credit, do you want to tell everybody what you were doing the night before the national championship game, the biggest game of our lives? And looking back, it was the biggest game you ever played in. You want to tell anybody? No? Okay, we'll just keep talking about how I was the fourth option. And look, I was the fourth option.
Former net Randy Foye will be
the fourth option on the team.
So you know they picked Richard.
Was picked over you. He went in the first round because you choked in the championship game. You were 2 for 17. He had 19 points, showed out in the championship game. And boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. You failed because you did all of that in pre-camp. So again, when you said those key words about that's what they determine your salary to be, is based on what you did in high school or what you did in college. No, Gil. It was about what you did. It's all of it. They said, this guy's an idiot. That information went back to all the 30 teams. You want to be an international pimp. And they said, well, yeah, this guy's not serious. This guy's a clown. He said, that Jefferson could jump out of the gym. He had hops. Yeah, he had hops, but he was the fourth option on the team. And Gilbert Arenas was supposed to go in the first round. That's why he spent up all that money. Right? And he wanted to talk about contracts and what Kwame got compared to what he got. And it was based on potential. So did you get drafted because of your potential? It was based on what you did? Well, let's see. Your rookie deal, your average salary was $400,000. So you had 2 years, $845,000, right? After taxes and everything, you done blew 200,000 already in buying junk. You just said it. Yeah, so the average salary is 422, 626 for 2 years, right? So what happened is for old Gilly boy, he had in 2003, they went and gave him the extension. Contacts, look, boom, right? It was ready to go. Boom, boom, boom. But his rookie deal, right? That was his rookie contracts, 2 years. I don't know where he get this 3-year rookie contract from. You can't even get a rookie contract for that. Now, if you have a 4-year deal, rookie scale contracts, up to 4 years, I don't even think they do that anymore. But the first 2 years are fully guaranteed. The third and fourth are normally team options if they do that. Mostly they just have a 2-year deal. Now, unless you're a superstar player, maybe you can get that third and fourth. But if they have an extension that's not reached by the 4th year, then they can get you what they call the qualifying offer, where they make you a restricted free agent. Now, right, they look at the scale on the collective bargaining agreement. So you go through the CBA and do that. Your draft position determines your salary range for your contracts. So they pretty much look at all of these factors as far as salary percentages and negotiations. Where you go in the draft actually matters, Gil. You know that. So it ain't about how great you was in college. It's where they decide to draft your ass. Yep. So let's get back to Dum Dum. Because Dum Dum was in the middle of something. And I ain't want to stop his run. Sometimes you got to let a Dum Dum be a Dum Dum. Let him keep talking. See, when you talk so much, you end up exposing yourself.
You're talking about being old out. Michael Jordan did his at $1 million and started it.
Now he's saying ouchie. Oh, now you're trying to be Kwame Brown.
Eddie Jordan, yeah, Eddie Curry didn't play majority of his years and made more money than Kwame. Ouchie. Somebody was paying that alcoholic. I think it was an alcoholic. Yeah, he can say whatever. For 36 minutes, he was an alcoholic. That's why he didn't get the money he wanted. That's why nobody invested many years into him, because he drunk himself to sleep.
Now, he drunk himself to sleep, but according to you, you was the one drinking and partying all night. You was having parties at the house, partying here and there. So how is he an alcoholic and you weren't? It doesn't make any sense. It makes no sense. But you're dealing with the behavior. You're dealing with behavior of a clown. Now, all of a sudden, Kwame's a drunk. Has he ever been arrested for a DUI? Where's his DUI arrest? Where was he drunk and somewhere fighting or doing something drunk? Right? Matt Barnes was drunk and doing stuff all the time. They never hold Matt in those regards. You know, yo, buddy. All you did was drink. Every time you party, hanging out late at night, doing weirdo activities. And I mean weirdo activities. Yeah, I know. That ain't nothing.
You ask anybody he played with. He knew about that thing. He might not know the plays, but he knew about that bottle. He knew about that bottle. I can tell you that for sure. Great. Yep, call it. Let's go. Kwame rookie high was 19. Barney's was 17. Well, god damn. Ooh, I like the idea. That would have been spectacular. Dominated sports, man. YouTubers, if you haven't followed me on please, you didn't simulate and you lost with it. That's fine. Okay, young fella. Hey, Ryan Hollins, I know your name now. Bonnie. And you invited like, is it that like button? To the hotel, and I'm not gonna lie, there was like a Viper, Ferrari, Lambo, Government 51, Cardinal,
Now, I want you to listen to this. This is a very interesting part. Gilbert Arenas is going to talk about We just showed you his rookie contract, right? Let me show you something. Where is it? It's somewhere on here. Now, remember that rookie contract he had? That when he had with Golden State in his rookie deal, the 2-year deal. So when it was time for him to re-sign, Golden State was trying to keep him in Golden State. But I want you to listen to Gil tell the story.
I would say that I wanted to go to one of these games. Lions, yeah. Seahawks. Wait, hold on, man. I thought we was Falcons. Maybe it was the Eagles game. I don't know. Do I have any funny telephone stories? Nah, like I never really got to kick it with Bass. We was on Adidas together, but we didn't get to really mesh together. I got to meet him more after the careers were coming to an end. Chady said, "Hey, listen, I'm gonna just be honest, man. With that Golden State deal was crazy. I don't know if anybody ever heard, if everybody heard it, but after my second year, when I was going through free agency, Golden State couldn't pay me, what everybody else was offering. So I met with Denver. Had a meeting with Denver. They offered me $51 million. Had the dinner with Clippers. Clippers offered me $55 million. Then I met with Washington, A. Poland. He told me, we don't have a face of Washington right now. They had football. They had Clint Portis there. But, he was saying, the city don't have a face. We just lost Michael Jordan. We need a star. You can be it. Smile, charisma, everything. Well, he said, we have about 57 million, 55 million right now, but whatever it is, the cap is going to go up. Brian Russell's going to retire or go to the Lakers and opt out. So whatever it is, 62, 65, 70, it's all yours. So, okay, cool. So the last one was Golden State. So I was a big T.O. fan when I was there. He was playing for San Francisco. So they flew me and my father private, and T.O. was in the private jet with us. So, he's basically telling us, about San Francisco, now that I'm getting that new money, where I should live and move, Oakland Hills, Walnut Creek, or even move to San Francisco. So he flew there with us. Him and my dad are best friends to this day because of that trip. Then we get to the hotel, and I'm not gonna lie, there was like a Viper, Ferrari, Lambo outside, and that was the first thing I see. Like, God, man, niggas out here balling, like, woo! So we go to the penthouse, to meet the general manager, owner, and start having that conversation, and. In the middle of the conversation, they was like, yeah, we can't pay you what you're worth now. But look, we have We can pay you 1 year, $49 million. Then we'll have a wink, wink, a 7-year, $79 million deal already signed in the safe. So kind of like the Joe Smith deal. We'll already have the deal signed. They keep a copy. I keep a copy. So I was like, okay, cool. And then he says, also with the 1 year deal, we're going to give you the 4.9, and we're going to give you. Did you see those cars downstairs? I said, yeah, those nice cars. He said those will be thrown in too. Now I can tell you this. After he told me those cars would have been part of the deal, I didn't hear anything else. Okay? I didn't hear nothing. I don't know what else they talked about. All I was thinking about was the cars they had downstairs and which days I was going to drive those in. Right? Like I already knew I was stunting on my teammates. Right? There was only one teammate that really had cars like that. That was Chris Mills. He always had like Lamborghinis out there. So they had one down there. I think it was a Viper. Yeah, Viper, Ferrari. The Viper. What is the Viper called? Is it what is the Viper? What is the name of the Viper? It was supercars. No, not Dodge. No, okay, it wasn't a Dodge Viper. Okay, so you have what was a nice car in 2002, 2001? A Corvette. Yes, Corvette. So there's a Corvette Viper. Not Dodge Viper. It was Corvette. So they had the Corvette down there, and that's really all I thought about. I was throwing it all away for that. And they 34 points. They're 10 points off. Is that pretty good? I was sharing all time. So you had an A minus. You gotta have like a B. B minus because you're not playing no defense. You had an assist and everything. I had one assist from that one player. I have 0 assists. I literally been doing this all night. Look, I didn't even play back here. Okay. Yeah, it was a Corvette. Yeah, it was a. But it was just crazy because I was doing the math. I was like, I get these cars right now. I get the 4.9, and then I get the 7-year, $79 million deal. And then Otis, after he left, he's like, "What do you think?" I said, "Deal." And then he was like, "I told y'all he wasn't listening." And then once my agent broke it all down, he said, "Listen, 4.9 here, you have it. Then 79. Let's do the math." He said, "Right now you have offer from Washington at 6 years, 65. He said, first year, you're starting with $9 million on this deal. Golden State, 4.9. Then it was like 9.9 the second year. Then you get into this new deal. That new deal starts with 7. He said, by the time this deal matches up, you will already be out of this deal in Washington, signing the max deal.
Now, he needed his agent to break that down to him because he was not listening. And all he was thinking about was cars. They were selling him because they knew their client. They knew the type of person he was. He was reckless with money, spending. He was living off of them for the 2 years. He was staying there and living in the place. He didn't have a place to stay. He was living in the damn stadium until they gave him a place that he could rent to go stay at. He had to sleep inside the arena because he mismanaged the damn funds. So
you lose a lot of money signing this Golden State deal. And I was like, but what about the car? He said,
but what about the cars? This man just told him, dude, you got millions of dollars and this and this and this. This fool is worried about some damn cars.
4.9 and 9 million. You can buy the same fucking cars if you want. And I was like, oh shit, yeah, you're right. But it just sounded better free.
It sounded better free. No, that wasn't the case. They knew how to pitch you with flash. They were pitching you with flash. This man tried to call everybody else a dumb boy, but yet and still, you see how he do it. You see how they was coming up with it. No, he had no place to go. He had to sleep in the gym. He wasn't because he was working out so much. No, he didn't have any money. And then they said, look, man, we got to put you in the housing. Because he had spent up all of his rookie money. Because he thought he was going in the first round. So before he was even drafted, he'd had already spent $200,000. Then when he went in the second round, he couldn't believe it. But this, look, and what did he say? I just wanted to stun on everybody stun on my teammates. Didn't Kwame tell you that? That this guy want to go ahead and buy stuff and compete with everybody? He wanted to get a chain because he saw Gary Payton had one. He wanted to get that chain that somebody else had. He the kind of guy to see somebody with something and he want the same damn thing. I seen somebody with something and I was like, damn. That was it. Yeah, that was it, man. I was like, what more do you expect from an individual like that? Well, Ocho just cheap. He's always been that way. He way beyond frugal. So they had a lot of things they had to get put in perspective. So when they saying, hey, we got to go check out, all of this stuff, and we had this, we got this done for you, we need that done for you. Everybody who was making all these big plans for everybody, they didn't have any clue of what they was doing. They was just putting it all in play because it sounded better. Oh, that sound like the right play. Oh, that sound like the perfect thing for you. But what did you learn actually from Gil? Nothing. He showed you everything about his playing days. He should not even talk. Everything that comes out of his mouth sounds dumb. He thinks it makes him sound smart. And everybody just really baffled. Like, why are you even saying this? This makes you look ridiculous.
It sounded better for you. So basically, the deal was 6 years, 65 from Washington. Golden State, it was 8 year, 84 was the deal.
6 years, 65 million, right? That's what he said. A 6-year deal for $65 million. Now, that's what he said out his mouth. But what was the real deal? That might have been the offer, but that ain't what he signed for. So he said 6 years, $65 million, right? All right. Let's do it. All right. 5-year. The contract terms was for 5-year, $51,216. Shall I repeat that? He signed a 5-year, $51,216 million. I mean, $216,000. The average base salary was $10 million too, right? He was a free agent in 2008. So his deal was 5 years, $51 million. Right? So 10-2 a season. That's what you get. With the Golden State deal, you would have came out less and been playing for nothing. They knew you was a fool. They knew they could take control of you. Well, yeah. When people they start coming up and they start getting into the game and doing what it is that they doing, right? They always got this situation about themselves, right? That they feel like they're untouchable. Anything they want to do, they could do, and can't nobody tell them nothing. That's why people don't do that. Yeah, so sometimes people overreact and bad things happen. Now, I remember it was an NBA's basketball player's birthday party, right? And what's this person that played with Gil? But anyway, the party is going on. They in DC. They on the road. They in DC. And while they throwing the party, Everybody living it up. Everybody getting down, right? This man's homeboy decides to go check. This couple is having a fight at the party. It's this NBA's players party, but they still got regular people in this place too. Like it ain't just closed off to friends and family. So you got this regular person that shows up in here, and now y'all want to fight. Like they want to fight. His homeboy go over there and check him. Hey, and break up the fight. Hey, you don't disrespect him. It's his birthday. That's my guy. He the superstar, man. He the man. Yeah. And then his homeboy come over there like, yo, what's up? And then he go over there and shake him hand. Man, they violating you in your place. Disrespected. And the dude looking like, who is you? So they was like, oh, so he rolling thick. It's my city. So what do? As soon as they leave the club, they shoot at their damn car. Right? And they shooting at the star player. They ain't shooting at the friend. They shooting at the star player. It was his party. His homeboy got, indignant, and dude felt disrespected. You see how that go? Now you see how this works. You give respect to get it. And somebody like Gil, with his mentality, gets people around him hurt. Everybody either dead or go to jail. Messing with this guy. He leads people right off the damn cliff like he Wile E. Coyote. Everybody's been there to clean up his messes. What happens when there's nobody that left to clean up your messes? And you got to clean it up yourself. Then what? So don't forget to go to Kwame Brown's page and hear what Kwame had to say about it. I deliberately didn't want to play what Kwame said because of the simple fact I want you to hear directly from him. Go over there and check out what Kwame Brown had to say in response to all of this. And then you can go to my Patreon and then I could let loose, I just gave y'all the broad strokes. So I can go over there and let loose. So on my Patreons, and y'all already here, you know what's going to happen next. You know what's going to go down next, all right? So we out.